when Floyd Mayweather Jr. comes out and says that all the hype that surrounds Jeremy Lin is because he's Asian and that black players do what he does every night and don't get the same praise, it displays a reoccurring issue with America and humans in general that doesn't seem to be going away anytime in the near future. In a day and age when sports are still very much affected by racism, Mayweather is just another pitchless instrument that continues to keep an annoying song on the charts that should have never been in rotation anyway. A more accurate analysis of this situation would tell you that Jeremy Lin would have made his big splash much earlier if he, in fact, was not of Asian descent, guys. This idea wasn't hiding in the back of my mind and then pulled out after a Jerry Maguire-esque late-night battle with my own moral insecurities. Racism has been displayed throughout sports history. It might not be as strong as it once was, but it's still alive and it's still thriving. In football, we've seen it for years, and because that's my cup of tea, allow me to sip from it, all right? For a long time, black centers were moved to guard because center was looked at as a more cerebral position. A white cornerback would be moved to safety because it's assumed he won't be able to provide the same quickness and athleticism as a black player. And in a similar comparison, a white running back might be asked to put on weight and become a fullback for the same reason. Up until a few years ago, we saw black quarterbacks having to fight their way into the quarterback position. And even as recently as last year, people were comparing Cam Newton to Vince Young, even though the play styles of the two had nothing in common except their skin color. Horrible comparison. I at one point heard a guy call into a national radio program, and while he was trying to say that running quarterbacks never won anything, he threw out Mike Vick and Randall Cunningham and Vince Young and Warren Moon. And Warren Moon was the epitome of a pocket passer. Didn't even belong in the same sentence as those guys. But because he's black, he was put in that. And that's what I'm talking about. And I believe that Jeremy Lin, the Asian point guard of the New York Knicks, is another example of this exact case. But in Lin's case, he had to overcome much more than a black quarterback or much more than a white running back. He had to overcome the fact that there had never been a basketball player from Asian descent that dominated the point guard position. Since the NBA's inception, it had never happened before. Never. The list of unfair Asian stereotypes can go on forever. Just ask Jason Whitlock. We talked about it a little earlier in the week. Whitlock was the latest big name to throw Lin and his heritage into a corner with a remark that won't be repeated within this commentary right now. Lin has never had anything given to him. He has had to overcome his ethnicity, the school he came from, the many NBA assistant and head coaches that had written him off, and even had to prove his own teammates wrong in New York when just a few short weeks ago they were looking at him as the 12th man. By Mayweather saying what he did, he is actually taking away everything that Jeremy Lin has accomplished and will continue to accomplish because of ethnicity. What Mayweather said is actually a very racist comment. It is the same thing that could have been said about another boxer, the great Jack Johnson, who became the first African-American boxer to ever win a world boxing title. There had been champions before Johnson, but he was the first black one. So it could have been argued that he was only getting extra attention because he was black, and that would have took everything away from him. And just like Mayweather said, just like what Mayweather said, that statement would have been wrong, and it would have been racist. And I'm sure it was probably made back then, but it was wrong. The fact of the matter is that black players, or white players for that matter, do not do what Lin does every night, like Mayweather suggests. In fact, Lin scored more points in his first 4 games than any NBA player since the 1976 merger scored in their first 4 games. The guys right behind him on that list, you ask? Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Allen Iverson. Based on that, Mr. Mayweather, it looks like Lin is doing a lot more than your average black or white NBA player. Right, Mayweather? The bottom line, has Lin's race helped stimulate this story? Absolutely. But don't say that a guy is having everything handed to him because of his race when it has clearly held him back and forced him to prove the simple-minded human mentality wrong over and over again. Congratulations to Jeremy Lin and any other person out there who has had to overcome race because humans can sometimes be too ignorant to see a person for who they really are and what they really are.